All right, Kim Bokamper here, Joe Rose. It's the Audible. It's Friday night, and we are back at high school football, Joe. Yeah. It is the Dade Broward All-Star game presented by Broward College, and got a lot of kids here ready to show their wares off. And some of these kids still looking for opportunities to go to school. Some kids looking for that scholarship that may be left out there, and teams that are interested in signing guys. And for other guys, they know where they're going, and they just want to kind of get one last game here in Dade and Broward County.
Bo, National Signing Day's coming up first Wednesday in February, and this is a great opportunity. Just talking to the coach here, and they were saying we got the best that was left that wasn't playing in major all-star games or already getting ready to go to college because they signed early. So they feel really good about this group that's going to play tonight. But you're right, still want to get noticed. Yep. These guys all want to continue playing. There'll be some schools out here, smaller schools and Division I schools. So it's still a great opportunity one more time to play against better competition.
It's the seventh game, Joe, seventh All-Star game, and it keeps rolling along here. And they kind of go from Dade to Broward. They go back and forth. I think they were down at Travis Powell last year for the game. They're
Lockhart Stadium for a long time.
Up here. By the way, what happened to Lockhart Stadium, man? Is it even there anymore?
You know what?
We were talking about it the other
anybody
day.
Play like is Lockhart? I don't even. They used to be home for Dillard.
Troy Drayton. I had Troy Drayton on the show, and Troy told me that last time he went by Lockhart Stadium, he said it looked like there were trees growing in the middle of the field.
Oh, they must have ripped it down. Bo, I haven't been up there forever. Used to go to all those games. Yeah. Soul Bowl was up there. Dillard Ely game was up there for years.
Yep.
And they played all the big. St. Thomas, Dillard used to have classics up there. Yep. You don't hear about it anymore.
Yep. Well, anyway, so we're here at Western High School. Game starts at 7. I think they're going to turn the lights on here.
They're going to wait, though.
Soon.
We're saving energy, though. We're going to do it right at the last second, get these lights on.
Tim Neal, coaching the Dade All-Star team. He's the head coach from Coral Gables. He's got 3 kids in the game. Adam Rakovich, who we talked to here on the Audible towards the end
Western
of the season.
Miramar played
Western Miramar game, big game there. And he went to being the Broward County Coach of the Year.
Great year.
Went
One of
on
the best coaching jobs ever.
Great run through the postseason with this football team.
Right.
He's got 9 kids. Western's got 9 kids in this game.
Got some good players.
I'm
not surprised.
Look, you don't get to where they got this year without having good players. So it's nice to see those players rewarded here. So we're going to kind of get into that. We'll talk to the coaches. We'll talk to Larry Bluestein. We'll find out who some of the star players that people can watch on the program. Joe, we also got to touch on the Dolphins a little bit and where they're at. And it's the beginning of that off-season period now where, free agency is starting to kick off. The draft is you think it's still ways away, but meanwhile these guys are back in those offices combing over every guy possible to look at these draft choices. And I'm sure that's been a big topic for you. Let me figure out the big topics for you Dolphin-wise this last week on the radio. 560 WQAM Monday through Friday. You can catch Joe Rose 6 to 10 a.m. First, I would say Jarvis Landry, and 2 would be draft talk.
That'd be pretty good right there.
Pretty close.
Jarvis Landry. I actually sneaking up there. Ryan Tannehill is going to be the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. Who's the backup? Is it through the draft? Matt Moore come back? Is it another veteran player? You got to have somebody else that can play that position.
Well, I think we're going to be talking about quarterback from now until
I agree
for a long time.
But Bo, the Jarvis Landry is an interesting one because there's going to be a lot of teams interested in him at the right price, I'm sure. But hey, man, he put up some big numbers and he's a popular guy in his own football team. See how this is going to play out. They're going to have to make some tough decisions. I know you believe he'll be back.
I do, yeah. I'd like him back.
Well, I think we all want him back. It's too good not to.
I'm a guy that everyone's talking about money. I still don't understand why people worry about, you paid Jay Cutler $10 million. Well, it's not your $10 million. What do you care?
It worked.
They
didn't
fit under the
affect
cap.
anything. Right.
Didn't affect anything. You didn't keep you from going out and getting other players or keeping your roster where it needed to be. You did what you had to do. Yeah. It's just the nature of the beast right now. And when it comes to sign a guy like Jarvis Landry, you got to fit him in how you can fit him in, and then you work on the salary cap is something, Joe, to me that's so movable that you can mold and change it any way you want to. You can front load contracts, back load contracts, stretch them out. There's so many things you can do, redo them to get it to where you can fit everyone. So if you're out there, I don't know, but you can be concerned all you want about it. I'm not concerned about fitting players under the salary cap.
Bo, through the years doing talk radio, I've tried not to get – I got enough trouble, just X's and O's. Yep. To try to be a capologist and worry about the salary cap stuff and how it works. And because it's like you said, Bo, they can manipulate this thing any way they want to fit players under and get them if they want them to be part of the team.
As we touched on a little bit earlier, Joe, the quarterback situation, that is going to be a topic of conversation, certainly going right up to the draft. I think the consensus seems to be by people on the outside of that building, reporters, talk show people that have blogs, all the thing, is that a quarterback's going to be taken somewhere early in this draft.
I agree.
For the Miami Dolphins.
Yes,
And
totally
early
agree.
to me is a top 4 rounds. Wouldn't be surprised if it was anywhere in that top 4 rounds. 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm on board with everybody, and like I think it's a necessity now. I think with Ryan Tannehill, Joe, I believe that that quarterback room, the only guy we know is going to be in that quarterback room next year is Ryan Tannehill right now.
I agree.
I don't think Matt Moore will be back, although, love Matt and love everything he did. We certainly know Jay Cutler's not going to be back. Brandon Doughty, they signed to his deal, but he's going to have to come in and compete. If they go out and draft 2 quarterbacks, one to come in and compete and maybe be a backup, and the other one to keep on your roster and try to develop along the way, then he's going to be battling Brandon Doughty for that spot.
If they draft somebody like you, and I agree with you, if they draft somebody in the first couple of rounds, they're not drafting them for the practice squad.
No.
They're practicing them to be the second quarterback, play a lot of football in the preseason, and get ready to go. If something happens to Ryan Tannehill, hey, you're the guy, and you're going to play.
And to push Ryan. Look, look, here you go. This is a guy sitting right back here. We draft him in the second round. We didn't draft him in the second round, to be a third string quarterback.
No, you got hit on those high draft picks, and that goes at the quarterback position too.
Joe, so remember we used to get water on these shows?
Yeah. And, we got a sponsor on the water, too.
We did for a while, but I think Leon screwed that up. But anyway, so let's talk about this game, Joe. And I didn't play in a high school All-Star game. We didn't have one in the Bay Area where I played, but you played an All-Star game.
I played in one. Sacramento, the city of Sacramento versus all the small towns outside of Sacramento.
Right.
And I was in one of those little towns.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal, man. Ended up 4 or 5 guys,
Yeah.
all from Sacramento, ended up going to Berkeley,
Yeah.
and I was the one guy from the small town. So it's kind of cool. And then you go through college with those guys, and it was a lot of fun.
I didn't get to play in an All-Star game. Played in an All-Star game after college, and played in that. And, Joe, the experience that these guys are getting to play with guys they've played against, plays with guys they've heard about and seen, and you do. You really make – I know in the games I played in after college, I made friendships that are still my friendships now. Still guys you play with, you stick with them, stay with them for a week of practice, play a game, then you all head off. But somehow that bond kind of sticks pretty tight with you.
You know what's amazing? Like football, I tell people, and they talk about, and what about this being safe? I said, I don't know, but you build the greatest relationships. The camaraderie lasts forever. You'll see, guys, like you said, whether it's a guy from college or high school, you go back to a small town, man, they're still talking about something you did, so it's always great.
It's funny because I'm actually working with a buddy of mine out in California to kind of put a little reunion of my high school football team together. And so I'm talking to some guys out there, and I was talking to one of our coaches, and he's bringing up plays from our homecoming game. Hey, you remember that 9-yard slant? We saw you open, we threw it to you, and I'm going, yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't remember.
I had no idea.
There's a lot of water under the bridge for me but for those guys, and look, there are guys out here that this may be their last high school game.
That's reality.
And you'll remember every single play of this game and this week and everything you did.
Everything about it, Bo. You're exactly right. It is amazing, though. My team was undefeated. Marysville High School was the last time I think the high school went undefeated. So when you go home, you still go, hey, we're undefeated. I mean, guys 60 years old, hey, we're undefeated. I go, hey, man, all right, gotcha.
You go back, you're like Al Bundy when you go back to Marysville, right? 4 touchdowns against Polk High School for Polk High School.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry Bluestein. Let's get Blue over here and get a rundown on some of these guys and see what we got happening over here.
I don't think our mic's working here.
No,
so
we'll get
hey, Larry, come on over here and talk to us for a second.
Blue got more things going on
hey, listen,
now
man, Blue's a
than
big
any
part
man
of
I've ever
high
seen.
School football Fridays
he's talking
for
to
me.
players. He's talking to
he
coaches.
Knows them all. They all come over and hug him.
He's trying to. I saw him trying to get a little money out of someone's pocket there for something. I don't know what. I don't know. That was not going to work. You're going to have to share one. Not in plain view.
It's working. Thanks for the heads up on that.
Not in plain view.
My punchline. I said never in plain view.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's a little dark out here, so you weren't in plain. You weren't in plain view.
We're saving money on electric bill. We'll get them on right before we start.
Anyway, let's talk about this game. 7 years. It goes back and forth from Dade to Broward County, and I know there are a lot of guys that played in the Under Armour game and the Army All-American game that may not be playing in this game. but that doesn't mean there's not a lot of talent out on this football field.
Well, here's the thing, and I think we go through this every year. Dade and Broward County, by far, nationally, have more kids on NFL rosters than any other area. Last year, they had 63 between the two of them. The closest to them was 20, and that's Houston. So it shows you that you're more than likely, even though it's maybe a quote-unquote secondary game, it's not the Army game, it's not Under Armour, but it is a local all-star game that carries a lot of prestige. Dade County always has a lot of pride. They don't want to get there. They have that chip on their shoulder always that they don't want to get knocked off, and that's what happens. Broward's just new to this, trying to dominate type of thing, but, that's changed. You've seen it. St. Thomas Aquinas, American Heritage are huge. Cardinal Gibbons is doing it. Now we got to get the public schools a little bit charged up, and what Western did last year was a great start.
Hey, Blue, I want to ask you. You've seen all these games. Best player you've seen playing the Dade Broward All-Star game? Because we've had some guys playing in the NFL that played in this.
Andre Johnson played in it, and he did real well.
That's not a bad starting point there, Blue.
Yeah, there you go. And then we'll drop down to Roscoe Parish.
Pretty good so far.
Yeah, really good. And Broward County kids throughout the year never really got it.
Yeah.
I think the Dade County, that there's always been that, certain something that you got to get. I got to get out of Miami. It's not like I've got to stay there. And Broward County's not like that.
Yeah.
And now, it's even better for Dade County now.
We talked about it a couple times during the course of the year while we were doing these games, how Broward really over the last 10 years has risen up to be able to compete. Now, the top teams to be able to compete with the top teams in Dade County. The depth isn't quite maybe where it is in Dade County, but Broward is certainly encroaching on their territory of being of the best teams in Dade and Broward combined.
Not a doubt. I mean, but here's the one thing that Dade County will always have. They'll have the inner city that Broward will never have. The Dade County history that goes back right from the Dade County line where Miramar meets, and it's no coincidence that Miramar is pretty darn good and getting better. It's that little, and now it's even legal to go back and forth. I didn't mean to say that, but I mean
you got new rules, Larry. It's fine. You can
It's a new world. It's a new world, Blue. It's a new world. We just got to live in it. That's all.
I hear you. And it goes all the way down to the inner city where Booker T is, and in that little region you have Central, Northwestern, Edison, Jackson, Norland, Carroll City, and you see how many players come out of that. But Broward County has, with the suburb areas, anything north of that, the North Miami beaches, sure, they're right on par. But St. Thomas and American Heritage and now Gibbons make it kind of a different field, I mean, because Broward County, Dade County's only private school that really, really usually makes noise is Columbus, where Broward now has 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. Hey, Blue, you've seen a lot of these kids play. Who are you looking at out here? And the other question, I guess I was going to ask this first, but I kind of got distracted by something. There's some of these kids that don't have scholarships right now. Some of these kids want to go to college, still looking. So there's some opportunities for some of these kids out here to maybe pick something up just by being in this game.
Yeah, well, because we're so potent and because we're so good, I think we're like almost really hurting ourselves. We have so many kids that we produce, not enough schools to go. So then you come to this situation where there's kids still holding at the balance, and where you used to say, oh well, I'll go to FIU, FAU. You're not. It's not so much a second. Yeah, it's not a second thought anymore. You've got to look at now. You've got to kind of come down a little bit, and if you want to stay in state, go to a West Florida program that in its second year went to the national championship game under. You remember Shinnick from the Baltimore Colts, his son led them to it. So you have another options, but those kids have to realize those options. And we are, you're going to have a lot of kids out here this evening. Dominic Watt, who's just a dominating receiver. If you look at him, he looks like he's NFL ready now. He's 6'1.5", almost 6'2". He's put together. He reminds me of Anquan Bolden. That's who he does. And, right now he's kind of – there's a lot of guys that are being recruited, but kind of, in between now and the first Wednesday of February. So, and there are guys, like you have the kid Darius Perryman from Coral Gables, another solid type of guy. And the guy that you're going to like tonight and you're going to go away thinking about is a running back from Miami Palmetto named Trey Flowers. This kid's a big-time kid. I mean, he's a kind of a Don Nottinghamish, like a bowling ball, but he runs and solid kids on both sides. I talked about Dominic Watt. That's a kid out of Miramar. Remember, he started over at MacArthur. You had a chance to watch him.
That's right.
And, and you have a kid named Dawson Hill who's a running back, big kid. So, solid kid, too.
All right, Larry. Appreciate you stopping
Anytime,
by, my man.
man.
It's always a pleasure to have the
You
Bluestein on,
can't do a high school game without you.
No, you can.
I've never seen so many kids when we go everywhere all over Dade Broward.
Am I
hug
passing
you, man.
the torch off over here?
Like a father, the godfather of all of them, man.
Who's coming in?
I think we got Tim Neal coming in. Is that who we got?
Coach Neal, yeah.
All right.
Here's a good friend of mine, Coral Gables, now at Killian, Tim Neal.
Look at that. Larry Bluestein introducing you, man. That's big.
Tim,
Coach,
how you doing, man?
Thanks for being with us. Thank you.
To meet you
Coral
guys.
Gables, hi.
Yes, sir.
Got 3 kids out here playing in the game, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about you guys.
Bo, how about the tradition of this
Oh,
high
yeah,
school,
yeah.
Coral Gables? Huh?
Yeah.
I'd love to see those NFL pictures look like the kids over
Let me
the
throw.
history
Let me
of
throw.
that school.
Two names that jump out to me, and I think I'm right. I know Ralph Ortega.
Yes.
And
Jonathan Vilma.
no, I was going to go back.
Another Perryman.
No.
Yep. Frank Gore will be here tonight.
Frank Gore.
Didn't Neil Colsey play? Neil Colsey,
Neil Colsey,
Coral
yeah.
Gables.
Did he? Neil Colsey?
Neil
Oh,
Colsey.
you're going
I'm
old
going to
school.
old school. I was going way back. Neil
Yeah,
Colsey
well, I gotta tell you,
and Ralph Ortega.
The guy you just
Two
mentioned,
teammates, two
Frank
guys I
Gore.
played with the
Wow,
Dolphins.
Unbelievable, that career.
Yeah, he's coming tonight to support me tonight, too. So.
It's great. Yeah, he lives. I think he lives here
Who's
in
that?
Davie,
Yeah, he
not
lives
too
right
far
around the
down the corner.
Who's
Yes,
that?
sir. Frank Gore.
Frank Gore.
Oh, Frank Gore, yeah. I see Frank Gore all around town, yeah.
Frank's sneaking
He's done pretty
up
well.
on-
He's done pretty well since he left
he's done
Coral
okay.
Gables, huh?
Consider
He's
it.
done okay.
Hey, how about coaching at that school before we get into your team tonight? Just the tradition,
The-
Coral Gables.
The great thing about it is before I was at Southwest, I was there before as a coach with Joe Montoya. And the tradition from football to band to academics is just a all-around great place to be. Just a great school.
Oh, big original school. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about this Dade Broward and what it means to your kids, the kids down from the 305 that get a chance to play in this and get to compete against the kids up in Broward County. Take it back and forth across county lines each and every other year.
That's right.
So you keep it even there. But as a high school senior, it's got to be exciting to play in a game like this. And your guys, I'm sure, are very anxious to show what they can do.
Exactly. Because we got to. By the way, I coached last year and we won, so I'm expecting to do this again this year.
Little pressure on you.
Oh,
You're starting to feel the pressure.
I'm starting to feel the pressure. I was getting freaked out by the lights, but I'm okay now. But to actually coach with the talent level of kids that we have in Dade County is phenomenal. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to move the ball. I'm on the offensive side, so it was real tough to move the ball this week with the kids that we had coming off the ball up front. Secondary-wise, skill-wise, I mean, I think this is going to be a pretty good battle.
Yep.
I'm excited about it, and to have the Dolphins to do this for us is just phenomenal. You guys really don't understand. That second option, kids getting more film.
No doubt.
Opportunity.
That's well put. And the talent, I was going to ask you about the talent. You see a lot when you're scheduling the regular season in Dade. How good is the talent on your roster?
The talent is so good. I've been telling kids all week that, look, I wish I had you guys all season.
Yeah, right, yeah.
This is what I want. When you're out there with a quarterback that can set up, throw, deliver the ball, kids running routes precisely, the ability of kids challenging each other, whether it's a jump ball, somebody being run over or somebody being knocked back. Either way it goes, the talent level that we have out there is so exciting, and it's to see it. I'm running around and I'm more happier than I've ever been during the season.
You got a bunch of guys you know want to play, and they're playing for a purpose and reason. So
yes,
helps.
Coach, before we let you go, how many days do you have the kids before you get ready to play this game to get yourself ready?
Last year we had them 2 weeks. This year we had them a week.
Yeah.
And it was real tough because we're trying to, offensively, I run a complex type game, but I condensed it down. But we get 3 practice days, 1 walkthrough before the game. We only hit 1 day. So we took it easy. But it's more of input and installing that gets in there, because these guys are at a level that they can just pick up and go.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Pick up and go.
Well, we certainly wish you the best of luck, and
Coach,
appreciate
thanks for
you
being
stopping
with
by,
us, man. Great to be with you.
Have fun, man.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourself out there.
No, great to have you.
You dropped to the depths when you got on this show, man.
Yeah, you got all-time low with Bo and Joe. I can tell you, man. That was.
Adam Rakovich now from Western High School going to join us here, the coach of the Broward team, coach of the 954 squad here.
Absolutely.
Hey, Coach, how has this experience been for you so far?
It's been awesome.
It's been First of all, it's been a hell of a year for you.
Very positive.
Yes. By the way, how about the playoff run you guys went on?
It was spectacular.
So close with. honestly, Coach, I mean, you had a nice team. Right. The Miramar game was fantastic that we saw. But after that, the way you guys really kicked it in, didn't fall apart, and win some games in the playoffs, unbelievable.
Yeah, going to the regional finals at a place that had never won a playoff game, before we got here, and being in the state playoffs back-to-back years now, and then this. I mean, we're hosting the Dade Broward All-Star game with all these dynamic athletes and fantastic kids out here coming to Davie. I mean, who could ask for more than this? You guys are here. It's awesome.
Oh no, we're the greatest front runners going. If it's big, we're here. Don't you ever worry about that, Coach.
Hey, so tell us about your experience with the kids. You got 7 of your kids or 9 of your kids playing in this game, but all these other kids that you get a chance to watch, guys that you played against, and some that you haven't played against, but you heard about.
I tell you what, you bring up the Miramar game. I told Rocky, I said it's nice that we got Dominic Watt on our team for once instead of playing against him. So I'm looking forward. You mentioned Harrison. I'm looking forward to the Iceman connecting with Dominic Watt tonight. That's going to be fun. Peterson, the running back from Nova, is unbelievable. Yeah. The South Plant running back Hill. I mean, there's just some great kids out here.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, I got to tell you, I love your quarterback. You came on last time. He was one of the guys came in with you and said, hey, let's do this. And there wasn't much. He's going on your word. And, man, he can really, watching him from younger to where he was and is right now, he can throw it at a D1 level.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic player. He's a competitor. We wouldn't have got where we did without him. I mean, if you would have asked people that didn't know if someone from Western had a chance to be the offensive player of the year in Broward County with the St. Thomases, the Heritage Roses, and all the other people that you would expect, I mean, that Harry did it and he did it here makes it all the more special. Yeah.
Coach, how do you see the reverberations of the year you had affecting your program?
It's just, again, everything's been positive. It's been positive in the community. Harold did an article a little while back that it was funny. It was a side story. I told the reporter beforehand how I had walked into a Dunkin' Donuts and it was we had beaten Deerfield and it was when I first got here. I walked in with a Western shirt on. Nobody paid attention. And all these people are going, Coach, who do we got next? Great job.
Right, ready to
and
go.
It's like, I'm half asleep getting ready to head over here to do film. You know what that's like, guys that have to get. And it was just to see the community that excited. It's tremendous. It's
nice.
It's a motivated group when you have, for a lot of these guys, it's a last chance to show what you have. If you want to keep going, and for some, this could be it.
Yep.
How important is that, if you notice, motivation-wise with this group?
It's a combination. You have the kids like our corner Tayshawn, who's committed to NC State, and he's out here to play one more high school game with his buddies. And then you have some young men, like you mentioned, that are extremely hungry, that have fallen under the radar a little bit, and it's a chance. I've had college coaches calling me all week asking me, "Hey, Rack, who do you think out there really is a player who's who's
still looking for players?" I agree.
Exactly. It's an opportunity for these young men in a lot of levels to represent their county, their school, their neighborhood, and an opportunity to get one more shot to impress colleges.
That's what I was going to say. Let's not forget the pride. The Dade Broward pride. These guys from Dade County want to come up here and take over your turf over here while your boys over here saying, no, this is our turn up here this year.
Exactly. No, there is a very good competitive rivalry between Dade and Broward, and even there, you guys follow South Florida High School football. So for a long time, the power was almost totally in Dade. That shifted to a lot more parity and a lot more competitive, where teams from Broward are winning state titles also. And we feel in Broward we can play with anybody in the country, and Dade certainly got as much talent as anyone in the country. So it should be a great matchup.
You've been on pretty good high here over the last 4 or 5 months. This has been, don't wake me up, man. Right, every day coming in here.
I'll tell you what, and to start the season off next year, the Dade Broward Kickoff Classic that was held at Traz Powell last year with the 2 best teams from Dade and the 2 best from Broward. That's being held in Davie to start the season next year, too. So you guys might be right back here for the very first game of high school. The very first game of high school football in South Florida next year is going to be held here in Davie.
Hey, Joe and I were talking a bit earlier about playing in all-star games, how you only see these guys for a week and then they head out. but they're going to form some friendships out there. Have formed some friendships over the course of this week.
Right.
They're going to stay with these guys for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
Right.
Already seen the guys bond and changing helmet stickers. You guys know how that is.
Yeah.
You know, so guys that were your rivals during the season, you wanted to just go out there and smash them, and now you're a Miramar kid and you got a Western Wildcat.
That's
You got a Gibbons Indian.
It's awesome.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it really is awesome. Really good stuff out here.
Well, Coach, it's been great, man.
Appreciate
really
you stopping by.
You spending time with us.
And congratulations again on your season and everything. It was fantastic, and we're very fortunate to be a part of it. Coming out here and getting here for your for the game, and then watching you make the run.
They no longer laugh when they drive up and down 136th Street now. Now they're not so sure they want to be part of that schedule.
It's Wildcat territory right there now. Huh?
We play football in Navy now. They know. All right, Joe.
All right,
Thanks
Coach.
a lot.
You got it, man. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks
a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Man.
All right.
He had an unbelievable year.
Good.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
A total underdog.
Well,
this used to be
like
if you had a couple good guys, other schools were taking them.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to play. Nobody wanted to go out. And
what a job he's done. And like you said, the quarterback coming and saying, "Hey, I'm your guy. We're going to go for this thing," and have everyone. This we talk about. This is a neighborhood school, Joe.
It is
right. This is a neighborhood school. The kids they're not traveling from anywhere. Everybody that played in this football team
it's pretty much in this
grew
area.
up in this neighborhood,
right? No
and
question.
they played with them when they were in elementary school. Played with them at the parks and did all those kind of things. And with the way that high school football is now, especially down here in Dade, where guys can come and go and they can go wherever they want to go. The new rules allow them to do that.
That's right.
But it's nice to see a team that got guys from their own backyard and did as well as they did.
I think these games are great.
Yeah.
And I know we got the Under Armour and we got the Army All-American game and stuff, but for these guys, like you said,
let me tell you what, those games weren't any more important than this game is for those guys out there right now.
Just as important.
Yeah, no big deal.
No
hey, let's run through some of these questions before we wrap it up here, Joe, and let these guys play their football game. Kalescu comes on. Any thoughts on Salguero's article on Chris and Mike drafting a quarterback early to save their jobs? Well, I don't know about saving their jobs. I just think we talked about a quarterback's going to be a part of topic of conversation, and certainly talk about saving jobs. Everyone's fighting for their job year in and year out, but quarterback, there's no question quarterback is high on the priority list for everybody that's watched this football team.
Well,
all you got to do is look at the playoffs and look at the quarterbacks.
That's right.
That are out there
quarterback, we all get. I think quarterback's the most important position in any sport. But, Bo, I look at these drafts the last couple of years. I still think Tunsil is going to be a really good player.
I do too.
I think Devontae Parker is going to stay healthy and get it together. And I got people. They're throwing stuff at me every time I say that. But
I know.
I could really make some drafts, man.
Yeah.
You look at those guys play at a high level. You got the X-Man, Xavier Howard, Kenyon Drake playing great. Got some guys
here's my thoughts on this. So you 2016 draft, you had four guys: Tunsil, Howard, Drake, and Grant become impact players for your football team.
True.
Right? You still got Leonte Carew out there. He's got to pick up his game if you want.
All right.
Then you go last year, 2017. Charles Harris, Gottschall, Taylor, Tankersley, Asiata, who's still trying to see if he can fit in there. But you also got free agents in Chase Allen and Jesse Davis. Jesse Davis is going to be a starter for you, I guarantee you, on the offensive line. So you put together two pretty good drafts there of number of impact players that have helped this football team. You can have a similar draft to either one of those two drafts, and I think you're in a pretty good situation from a youth foundation standpoint to take this football team a long way.
Well, I think the front office and the coaches made it pretty clear, but we got to build it through the draft.
Yep.
We ain't doing it through free agents and spending too much money on everybody else's free agents at the end of their careers.
Yep.
Can't
no
do
doubt.
it.
Yep. TJ back from Facebook. Hey, Bo and Joe, do you guys think the team will franchise tag Landry if needed? I don't know. That's a big number, man.
There's a very good question.
Yeah, it is a good question.
That is one where you go,
So you franchise a player, he gets the average of the top 5 salaries at that position, or is it the top 3 salaries at that position?
I think they were saying it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're talking because Antonio Brown's contract lifted it up. You're probably looking at 14, 15 million plus a year.
And I think, Joe, we kind of agree that the number for Jarvis Landry, I think the Dolphins would like to see it a little closer to 10, and he'd like to see it a little closer to 13
I'm
or 14.
guessing. Nobody has told me, but I'm guessing you're pretty close to being on the money.
I think so.
That they're about
right in that ballpark.
Probably close to that amount of money apart.
Yeah.
That 10 and 15 mark.
I think that's it. Hey, guys, there's a college player.
You've been sitting in those meetings, haven't you?
No. Hey, guys, there's a college player from Dade or Broward that excites you. going into the draft. Is there a college player from Dade or Broward County that excites you going into the draft?
Well, there's a guy out of Monarch High School by the name of Ridley that's going to be the top wide receiver taken out of Alabama. We can start there. And I don't know about you, but I saw another guy in the national championship game, Sony Michel.
Oh.
Running back, played great in those playoffs, went to American
Let me ask
Heritage
you, how does
Plantation.
Sony Michel come in there and make Chubb a backup running back?
You know, Bo, that started in those playoffs.
Yeah.
He turned it up in those last 2 playoff games against Oklahoma and then what he did to Alabama. I think his stock went.
Yep. Jerry Perry Gerald from Facebook. Bo, how about signing Jimmy Graham to a 2-year deal? Joe, that strikes me exactly what you just got done saying. Signing free agents that have got about a year or 2 left in their game, and taking a chance that they've got enough left in the tank.
You can't
to get
take
you over
name.
The hump.
You got to take ability. Now look at people are going to look at Jimmy Graham and go, well, look at the amount of touchdowns, and he did. He jumped up in the red zone. He used his size. He's
but he
older.
wasn't the Jimmy Graham.
He's not the athletic Jimmy
No.
Graham we saw 14 injuries ago.
No.
Sorry, Jimmy Graham.
No, it's not. Look, it's just the way it is, and you got to get those guys. And look, you
got to find a guy.
Look. Last year we went after Mario Williams. We went after Jordan Cameron, the tight end. Basically, guys at the end of their career. Right. This year you go after Julius Thomas. You get the same kind of production out of him.
That's great.
It's just
I'm with
you can't. I know those guys got names. I know you remember what they were 5 years ago. I can tell you.
3 years ago, he had 80 catches.
I can tell you this: 3 years in the NFL, from 3 years to the next 3 years, man, you could become a totally different guy and a totally. You could be an all-pro here, and 3 years from later, you can be hanging by your fingernails to try to stay on a football team.
You said Mario Williams and Julius Thomas.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Those guys didn't look anything like they did a couple years before.
And got nothing that you expected. Got nothing of what you expected out of those guys. And if you don't learn those lessons, to me, then I think you pay the price. Rick Volage on Facebook. Mason Rudolph, Oklahoma State, would be answer to the quarterback position. Mason Rudolph. I don't know about that.
I wouldn't count him out, Bo.
I wouldn't
He's
count
thrown a lot of footballs at Oklahoma State.
But if I'm looking at Oklahoma, I'm looking at the other kid. I'm looking for the kid in the red jersey up there.
I got you, but that could be first round versus second or third round.
Yeah, that's what gets that point. Where do you want to pull the trigger?
The guy's making the big bucks at the top.
Yeah, that's right.
Named Mike and Chris. Yeah. That's where they look and go, what's the difference in guys like those?
Anastasia Ballard. If the Penn State running back is available at 12, what's his name? Come on, give me his name.
No shot.
No shot. What? Huh? Saquon Barkley. Yeah. No shot. He's number. I think he's gone at number 2 or 3, Joe.
That
right?
Guy that's ridiculous talent. That guy. That's stupid talent there.
That's it. All right. Anyway, that's going to do it for Dolphin stuff.
You want to do fantasy draft stuff?
No. You do enough of it all day long, every day during the morning. So, but it's a Dade Broward All-Star game, 7 o'clock kickoff. Western High School, 595. Get off on 136th Street. Head south, and you can't miss it. You see the lights, and you see pretty sharp uniforms these guys got on, too, out here, Joe.
Oh, yeah. No, those are nice.
Colors in there. Very nice.
By the way, hey, to the Miami Dolphins and to the staff that made this, it's fantastic the way it looks, man. It
looks awesome.
Put a lot of work in here, the whole staff.
A lot of people put a lot of time in, and I congratulate all you guys for the work you did to get this going. And it's a showcase. It's a showcase for these kids, and Joe, it's a showcase for the Miami Dolphins to show how much that high school football, and we've seen it. We've seen it all year long. So
we have.
All right, Leon, should we include Leon in that mix?
Us the cut.
No. He's saying should we include him in the conversation?
How many times you guys need to get stroked?
Huh?
Guys
they want it every day. They want it every time.
Come over here. We'll beat your chest. We'll put some bruise marks in the front, huh? Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for the show today. Joe Rose, Kim Bokamper. That's going to do it for the Audible this week. We'll be back on Monday. Not sure where, when. 12:30, 12 o'clock. We'll be on at noontime on Monday, so you can, unless Leon doesn't show up on time, which is not abnormal.
No, he's out. He's all right. He's pulling seniority.
I'm so freaking tired of Leon. Come out of here.